right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andy Sokolovich, and I am the Vice President of Economic Development for the Clinton Regional Development Corporation. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but October is Manufacturing Awareness Month. And how many of you know what manufacturing means? By a show of hands.
Got a couple.
I got a couple here. So several years ago, we created a video called Made in the Clinton Region, and it featured things that were manufactured or made all over Clinton. And when I asked students, what's manufactured in Clinton, all they could say is corn. But some of them actually said pet food, and that would be correct. So we're excited today to introduce Erin Clark. She is the HR manager of Nestle Purina PetCare. She was here in Clinton. She just recently moved down to the Davenport office, but she's an excellent young professional and do an awesome job to present to you in what she does in human resources and at a manufacturing plant. So that's enough for me. I'm going to turn it over to Erin. Erin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Andy, and glad to be invited to something like this. It's always exciting to visit with students and talk a little bit about the day in the life of human resources and manufacturing. And to be honest, I didn't know a whole lot about both of those things starting in my career, so it's always kind of exciting to learn about them. I get to wear jeans every day. I hope that's considered a perk. If you ever want to go into manufacturing, you get to wear jeans and sweatshirts, which I think some people really enjoy. But as Andy mentioned, I work for Nestle Purina, and who knew that making pet food was, in your own backyards? And it actually is a really exciting business to be a part of, especially right now, because a lot of the products that we're making in Clinton are just really popular. And I can't see the classroom, but I'm hoping that you raise your hand if you have a cat or a dog in the household, and hopefully they're a part of your family.
How many have dogs or cats? Whatever. Okay.
Cats, dogs.
Oh, good. I heard lots of yeses.
Yep.
Good. That makes me very happy. So if you were to open up your pantry today and you would look in there, chances are, hopefully, there's some products that we make right here in Clinton. So I'll just name a few and hopefully they ring a bell. But how many of you guys like to give your pets treats at home?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Great. So we like to hear that. We have a treats factory and we have a food factory. So our treats factory, we make bacon strips, fancy feast, party mix for cats. If you have a dog at home, you might feed them Purina One or Pro Plan or dog chow. We make dog chow here in Davenport. Hopefully next time you open up your pantry, you'll see a little checkerboard on your treats. And if you don't see a checkerboard, then you might want to rethink the grocery list a little bit. But so I like to tell my story in a sense that I really didn't know what human resources was when I first went into the workplace. So just to give a little bit of background on my career, I've been with Purina for almost 13 years, which is a lifetime for some people. All of it's been in HR. I went to the University of Iowa, so maybe there's some Hawkeyes in the room too. And I had a journalism and mass communication degree, which is not related to HR, but I still use a lot of the things that I learned and the things that I do today. And I'm currently in my 6th location within Purina. I mean, I've lived in 3 different states. This is my 2nd time in Davenport. So the company has relocated me to help further my career, and I'm very grateful for that. But I really enjoyed working in Clinton and Davenport as well. So, and I love talking about manufacturing. A lot of people don't know what goes on inside our walls, and so it's always a great opportunity for me to share what we do. And we love talking to students like yourselves so that we can give you a better idea of what manufacturing is all about, and today especially what HR is all about. So people ask me, what is a day in the life in HR? And a lot of times I shrug my shoulders and I say, probably just like all the other presentations you've heard is, well, it's different every day. And that's one of the things I love about HR is that every day is different, but ultimately my main job is to help people. So I help people solve problems, whether it's something to do with their pay or they have problems with the rules that we have in the factory. And so I oftentimes, I help with our managers and our employees help solve their problems so that everyone can work together. I also help with career development. So I'm sure you've had conversations with your parents and your teachers. What do I want to be when I grow up? And a lot of times adults are still asking, what do I want to be when I grow up? And HR is a great person, not only in a factory, but in other industries that can really help give people direction on how to best utilize their strengths so that they can find career paths that are best for them. So I'll talk a little bit about mine as well. And
Hold
then
on
training.
one second, Erin.
Oh,
I
sure.
didn't mute Mrs. Lude's classroom. If you got to unmute yourself because there was a lot of background noise.
There's background noise on mine?
No, in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't mute them. So I don't.
I got a question for you real quick. Okay.
Questions.
Erin, as you're talking about HR, I mean, you're saying you're the HR manager. Can you talk a little bit about what HR means?
Sure.
I mean, just the wording.
Yeah, human resources. It could mean lots of things, but basically we help all of the people in the plant. So that is the person who hires people. It could be the person who trains people. It could, gosh, there are so many different things that HR does. Hopefully those are like the main things that you think about when you think about HR.
Right. I was just asking what the H and the R stood for so that they heard that one more time. So
okay.
Okay.
Human resources. HR for short, definitely. So yeah, career development. I don't know, Andy, do you think they heard the career development side piece?
Yeah, absolutely. I just muted their end because there was some background noise and I didn't want to interfere.
Okay. And then, we have in the Clinton facility, we have over 300 people that work in our plant, and a factory can be called a plant. I don't know where that term comes from, but we have to make sure that we can hire the right people and that they can help run our machines, they can help design machinery, they check the pet food as it's being made to make sure it's the right that the right food is going into the right bag so that it gets to your house in the way that it should. And with that, when we hire people, we also have to train them. So we have a lot of things in place where we train people. So just like you're in school to learn different things, think of that as training in a way, that we're training on specific things to do your job really well. And then I put community outreach in here, and that's really just a fancy term for what Andy does, but also what we do too. And all that means is that we're very passionate about helping people in our community. So we do lots of volunteer projects. One of them is we like to partner with our Humane Society and give them pet food so that the animals that are there have enough food throughout the year. And we also like to help people in our community too. So we do a lot of fundraising projects to make sure that people in need have resources in the community, and we're very proud to help help people in our community.
Yeah. One of the cool things, and here I'll make it so you guys can see me, but one of the cool things is during the whole COVID pandemic, there's some people that lost their jobs because they couldn't go to work because of social distancing or their facility closed. So they still need to pay for food to feed their pets, right? One of the cool things Purina just did, and I'm sure you guys heard of it, is they gave away pet food by the truckloads to people who needed pet food for their cat or their dog. And they did that right down here by the Lumber King Stadium in Clinton. Did you guys know about that? No? Yes? Seeing some head shake. All right. And I know you're muted too, but very cool things that Purina does. So Erin, you can go ahead and continue.
All right. I'll pause there for a minute. Does anyone have any questions about HR or Purina?
Anybody have any questions so far? Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. So yeah, just keep in mind HR, human resources, we're the people side of every business. So a bank might have someone in HR, a factory might have someone in HR, and so yeah, we help people. So I just wanted to spend a minute and give you some of my human resources advice. And this is advice that you can use throughout your middle school going into high school, and then whatever you choose to do in your career moving forward. These are things that have helped me in the past. So I like to encourage people to find something that you love to do, because enthusiasm is contagious. So whatever that is, if it's a sport, if it's a subject in school, if it's a volunteer project you're working on, find something that really excites you, because I guarantee that other people around you will feel that excitement, and then it'll build momentum for themselves to find something that they love to do, and so on and so forth. Build trust and integrity by walking the walk and talking the talk. So I don't know if you've ever heard your coaches or your teachers say this before, but make sure that when you start to build relationships by making friends, or as you also start to enter the workforce, that what you say, if you're going to say something, make sure that you're going to do something, so that you're following through on your commitments to people, because in turn they'll trust you, and they'll start, and that comes a lot of respect comes out of that. And I'm going to steal a quote here, and your teacher might know it, but whatever you do, be a good one. Does anyone know who said that?
They're currently muted, so maybe we can ask for some hands.
Hands.
Anybody know? I'm not seeing any movement, so you may have to tell them.
Okay, well, Abraham Lincoln said that, and he was one of our founding presidents. And all that really means is whatever you do, whether you're the best soccer player on the team, or you're running a project at school, whatever it is that you're doing at the time, make sure that you're giving it your all. Because if you do that now, chances are you're going to do that when you get a job, or you go to college, or whatever it is that you do. Make sure that you're giving it your all, because that is so important once you do get a job, and you could be Andy's manager someday.
Sure, I always need supervision.
And a couple others. There is no magic formula that's better than a little bit of curiosity, some grit, and a lot of hard work. So what that means to me is those are simple things that you can do to be successful in your life. So, it kind of goes back to give it your all, put a lot of work into something, and take pride in what you do, because that will go a long way, no matter if it's sports or schoolwork or getting a good job someday. Those are the things that will get you far. And your time is valuable. Spend it making your community a better place. And I think Andy and I, and your teachers as well, I think would think that this is really important, that if you volunteer in the community, it's only going to make it a better place in the end. And you know, we all want to live in a place where our neighbors look out for us, and that we're giving back to those who need it more than we do. So, you know, Andy, I think those are HR advice. That's HR advice, but would you agree those are kind of good things for people to think about when they're thinking about school and sports and getting jobs someday?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, when I go out, and part of my job is I interview company leadership, and what they often tell me is they just want to find somebody who has a strong work ethic, shows up on time, is curious, wants to make things better. That's the type of person they're looking for. Very seldom do we sit there and have lengthy conversations regarding level of education, or, I mean, that all comes into play, but what they're mainly looking for, not only your teachers, your vice principal, your principals, who I know all of them too, they want somebody who's going to be motivated, excited about coming in and making the workplace a better place to work and also enjoy themselves, because you're going to spend a lot of time at work and you want to make it a happy experience. So take these things into consideration. Thank you, Erin.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, my phone was ringing.
And then we have your next slide here, which I love this, by the way.
Yeah, this was, so I kind of want to end on the note that I didn't start in HR. I didn't even know what HR was when I was in school, but I kind of landed in it, and the skills that I had had curiosity, and it was a career that interested me once I found out about it. And so that's kind of where, you know, I want you to consider that, that your skills are boundless, meaning that, you know, you might not even know what you're good at right now, but don't limit yourself. So maybe you're only good at a couple things in your mind, but in the future, you could find strength in other things that you don't even know about now. So keep an open mind when you're looking for jobs and going into the workforce. Do things that aren't easy. And we have found that people that are successful in their roles push themselves. And so it can be kind of scary sometimes to do things that we're not comfortable with. You know, maybe it's trying out for baseball and you've never even picked up a bat before, but that's where that curiosity and that grit comes in. Do things that make you grow as a person. Practice being a digital native. I'm not sure if you guys know what that means, but you know, I'm sure your parents think that you're much better at technology like iPads and phones, that you're much better at using it than they are, and it's probably true. So make sure that you continue to learn technology, and so that someday you can teach others how to use it and use it better than how we use it today. Show your entrepreneurial spirit. So what that means is some of you might own your own businesses someday, and you might have this creative, wacky idea now that actually could turn into an invention or a patent or something really creative and fun that our community or our societies can use. And so don't lose that passion. Think about what ideas you have now, because you don't know, or who knows, someday they could turn into something really big. And then make friends with diverse backgrounds. So make sure that you find circles of friends that have different ideas than you do, that think differently than you do, because in my line of work, when you have people of all different backgrounds, it makes for a better team in the end. So on closing, hopefully you learned a little bit about HR today, and just remember, it's the managers or the people that help other people solve problems. They train people, they interview people, they get people in the door so that we can make good pet food for you.
Perfect. Do we have any questions out there, Mrs. Lutz?
Let me double check. Any questions, you guys? Can I ask a couple?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you said, Erin, that you have like around 300 employees.
Yes.
Wow. In the Clinton plant?
Yes.
That's a lot of employees, 300. That's about, you guys, half of our school size of students, that many employees out there. And they're probably, like you said, your human resources job. There's so many different careers that fit into the manufacturing environment. What do the majority of those 300 workers do? You might have said this. I'm sorry if I missed it.
Sure. So we have anywhere from production operators who actually run the equipment. So they make sure that the equipment is operating the right way. But then we have engineers, we have people in food science. So they work in a lab and they do different testing on the food to make sure that it's the best quality that we can have. There's HR, of course. There's information systems, which is our department that helps with all the computer systems. We have ingredient specialists that they source ingredients from all over the world. We get ingredients from Germany, from different states, and they have to make sure that we can get the right ingredients at the right time. So we also work with local farmers as well. I'm sure a lot of you know about someone who may live on a farm, and chances are they might deliver corn right to the Purina factory.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of different careers right there.
A lot of different careers, very diverse, and that's one of the things through this entire manufacturing awareness series. We're trying to get the students to understand that manufacturing isn't necessarily just going in and working with your hands. You have sales and marketing, you have, like Erin said, IT, computer specialists. So when you're looking for what you want to do when you graduate high school, maybe you go off to college, maybe you receive some post-secondary education, maybe you go directly into the workforce. But know that these jobs and these careers exist right here in your own backyard. So I know sometimes in school it can be easy to kind of put blinders on and just focus on that graduation date. But guess what? After that graduation date comes and goes, you're an adult. You got to go out and make money. You got to pay bills. You got to pay your car insurance and your car payment. So there's a lot of things you need to take into consider. And it's not about overwhelming you guys. It's really just about having you think about the potential and the opportunities that exist a stone's throw from your house or when you leave school. So that's why we wanted to bring in such a diverse group of people from both plant leadership, engineering, human resources. It's exciting, and I hope you guys consider this as you go home and you sit down at night and you have dinner with your family. Just tell them that you learned something about Purina Pet Care and what it means to our community.
Right, right. Does anybody know anybody that works at Nestle? There's a hand here and a hand here.
Good.
Okay. So a great company that we're really lucky that we have locally.
Yeah.
We're going to start talking here pretty soon about, wage and salary. Erin, do you know what an entry level worker would come in at as far as a wage?
Sure. We have skilled jobs, and just with a high school diploma, you could come in at $20 an hour. But we have jobs ranging from entry level all the way to, if you're the plant manager, you would make well above that. So that, of course, would be someone who would probably pursue a college degree and go into management. But our management jobs go well into the above that range.
Okay. Because we're going to work on, talking about what minimum wage is and how that compares for a lifestyle, here in Clinton, Iowa.
Yeah, that's great.
That'll help us tremendously in looking at that. So
I remember the first time that I sat down in a class and an educator explained to me what I'd be making and then what I'd have to pay in bills and then taxes. And then it all started I was like, oh no, I'm not going to have all this money to take home and jump into like Scrooge McDuck. It goes somewhere.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly the lesson we're talking about. So. Yeah.
I would say that in general, if you work at Purina, you would have a very comfortable quality of life living in the Clinton community.
Right. Right. Well, thank you so much for, that information and the other information that we got a lot of thinking and talking to do.
Good.
Great.
Thank you, Erin. I appreciate it as always. Thank you, Mrs. Lutz, and thanks, guys, for paying attention.
Yes. Thanks, you guys. Yep. You betcha.
I know, after lunch lull.
All right.
I
Take
know
care.
I'm a little tired, but they're doing well. So,
Good.
all right. Well, thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Bye,
Great to
guys.
meet you.